It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hello, hello, hello. It's your favorite pop culture loving trash panda, Beaten, back at you with another yummy installment of Trash Can Tidbits. I'm so happy you liked my previous list, and I'm going to get right back into it with another random fact list that I picked out of my trash can for you this week. So let's dive right in. Fact 1. Did you know that in the entirety of the Star Trek franchise, Captain Kirk's signature line, "Beam me up, Scotty," was said only once in the franchise's history? There have been variations of the line in other Star Trek episodes, such as simply "Beam me up" or "Scotty, beam us up." But the only time William Shatner actually said the whole line was in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Fact 2. Did you know that the original actress to play Marilyn Munster on the TV show The Munsters actually left the show after the first 13 episodes because she missed her boyfriend? Actress Beverley Owen played Marilyn in the unaired pilot and the first 13 episodes of The Munsters, but was in fact miserable during her time on the show because her boyfriend at the time lived across the country in New York. It took the intervention of the other cast members to have her leave the show so she could go get married. Marilyn would be played by actress Pat Priest for the rest of the show's run, and ironically, Owen divorced her husband 10 years later and would never appear on screen again. Fact 3. Staying with the Munsters for this next fact, did you know that the original unaired pilot had two differences compared to the final series? Herman's wife, who was played by a different actress before Yvonne DiCarlo was hired, was originally named Phoebe, and was notably replaced and renamed to Lily after it was thought she looked too much like Morticia Addams from the Addams Family. Similarly, the original boy actor who played Eddie Munster was deemed to be too mean and ferocious to play the character, so he was also replaced by the happy-go-lucky Butch Patrick. Fact 4. Did you know that George Lucas originally did not want to cast Harrison Ford to play Indiana Jones, despite him being director Steven Spielberg's first choice? This was because he was in Lucas's previous movies, American Graffiti, and more notably, Star Wars. And he didn't want to treat Ford like his Robert De Niro, a reference to fellow director friend of theirs, Martin Scorsese, who notably used De Niro in his movies from Taxi Driver to Mean Streets to The King of Comedy. Fact 5. Did you know that Hugh Jackman was originally going to make a cameo as Wolverine in the first SpiderMan film directed by Sam Raimi? Had that happened, it would have been the kickstart to a mini Marvel universe prior to the Marvel Cinematic Universe we have today, which also would have featured characters like Daredevil and the Punisher, both of who later had movies made of them. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you ask, the entire plan was scrapped when Raimi and the team were denied access to Jackman's Wolverine costume. And as for Daredevil and the Punisher, well, yeah. Fact 6. Did you know that Dwayne Johnson was set to make a movie based on the video game Spy Hunter as a sequel to a Spy Hunter video game that he actually starred in? The game, Spy Hunter Nowhere to Run, came out in 2006 and starred Johnson as Agent Alex Decker, a character who was not too similar to his Agent Hobbs character from the Fast and Furious franchise, and was to continue in a movie that was going to come out the year after the game. While it was the first, and so far the only game in the Spy Hunter series to control the actual character and not just the vehicle, the game itself received mixed reviews, and the movie script ended up being delayed and was ultimately canceled due to the 2008 writer's strike. Fact 7. Did you know that the blanketing clouds of fog that engulfs the titular town of Silent Hill was placed there mainly as a design choice because the original PlayStation simply didn't have enough processing power to display the town at a large frame rate? To make up for the setback, the fog was placed there as a way to load objects from a distance as the player moved towards them. It ended up becoming a series trademark, as the fog and the darkness added to the scary quality of the overall game series. Fact 8. Did you know it's possible that Marge Simpson from The Simpsons could be a reference to a previous comic strip by Simpsons creator Matt Groening? In The Simpsons arcade game, if you play as Marge, one of her idle poses has her getting her hair stuck in her vacuum cleaner, which she uses as a weapon in the game. and you can actually see what's on her head. A pair of rabbit ears! These ears are a reference to Matt Groening's comic Life in Hell, where humanoid rabbits were the main characters. These same ears also appear in the game when Marge gets electrocuted, and the rabbits themselves also appear in the game as cameos. Now this next fact contains minor spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 3, so if you don't want to know this fact, skip to here. With that said, here we go with fact number 9. Did you know the real reason that Philoctetes does not speak in the Hercules level at the beginning of the game is out of respect for his Japanese voice actor? Phil's Japanese voice actor, Ichiro Nagai, passed away prior to the game beginning production, and out of respect for him, the producers chose not to replace him and have the character not speak. The producers of the English version of Kingdom Hearts 3 also made the same decision to not have Phil speak, even though his voice actors in English, Robert Costanzo and Danny DeVito, are still very much alive. Fact 10. Did you know the theme song for the TV show MASH was written by the son of the director of the MASH movie? Director Robert Altman's son, Mike Altman, who was 14 at the time his father made the movie MASH in 1970, wrote the lyrics to the theme song Suicide is Painless. The song was later used as the theme song for the MASH TV series, which premiered 2 years later. Mike, to this day, continues to get royalty checks for reruns of the show, which total about $2 million and counting, while his father was only paid $75,000 for directing the movie. And even more ironically, Robert found the song too difficult to write and just gave it to his son, who literally put the whole thing down in just 5 minutes. So there you go. I had a lot of fun writing this one. I hope you all continue to like all the variety in my lists, and stay tuned for more fun lists in the future. I may even acknowledge some of the suggestions you sent me on social media for another list. Now, as always, if you like what you see and want to send me more materials for which to share with a fact or two, go ahead and drop a comment, or get in touch with me through my social media. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share my videos. See you next time!